Shefsky here, and welcome to Fantasy House. This is the world's #1 make-believe real estate podcast. I love doing this show because every week we get to go on a guided tour through a different person's imaginary dream home. They're always pushing the limits with mind-blowing houses and weird technologies and magic and all that cool stuff. They make weird, unique rooms. And, I ask them, I'm like, hey, could you come up with appliances and technologies that we don't even have so they can solve your very unique problems? People do that. And really it's just good old fashioned creativity and silliness. Fantasy House podcast is NSFW. It's not safe for work, although we're super Mr. Rogers inspired. It's a lot more of an adult Mr. Rogers experience. So it's raw, it's honest. We talk about sex, drugs, people's bathroom habits. Sometimes people take us to dark places, and we're all about authenticity and really reigniting that carefree, playful spirit we had when we were 4 or 5 years old. Just fearless exploring of our imaginations and ourselves. You remember that? I love that. I feel like we need that as adults too. And that's what I want to facilitate with Fantasy House. I want to inspire people to explore that again, get that feeling, that little fire lit inside for story time and imaginary make-believe time and just being ourselves. And it really is a great time. In Nathan Hurd's episode, he has a zero gravity room. So you just go in the room, flip a switch, and you're floating around. Jade Catapretta has a lazy river going through her fantasy house that has sexualized dolphins in it. Fifi Dosh has a private hot tub on top of a private mountain in her backyard. John and Tom from Chad Goes Deep, their fantasy house is actually a cloud that floats around like an RV in the sky. So they can go anywhere they want. Nick the plumber, he's got a live studio audience. So when he's with his family and he drops the punchline of one of his dad jokes, he gets a real applause. Joel Jimenez loves to cook, and by the way, is an amazing cook. But in Joel Jimenez's fantasy house, he doesn't want to clean up. He hates cleaning up. Loves to cook, hates cleaning up. Well, he's got a kitchen that washes itself. In episode 94, Mike Ishak's kitchen is just a portal to his aunt's Indonesian kitchen, so he can have ringdung anytime he wants, which I've never had ringdung in real life, but we had it on his episode imaginarily, and if it's anywhere as delicious as it is fun to say, it's got to be good, right? Ringdung. Jeremiah Watkins did a Halloween episode, and his toilet paper dispenser is a mummy that you just unwrap and wipe your butt with. Nat Baymel doesn't even have a bathroom. Speaking of bathrooms, he simply has a wizard that anytime you need to go, the wizard appears and just makes your bowels empty. Just abracadabra, poof. Or poop, poop, poof. So cool, right? Every episode is brought to you by me, Jon Shefsky. I am your local Southern California realtor. Not just a fantasy realtor. No, a really real realtor. And I would love to help you with anything real estate related, whether you're thinking about buying a house, selling a house, maybe you're interested in why I love multifamily apartment buildings, any of that. I would love to be of service. And if you're thinking, John, I don't care about real estate at all, that's great. But I know you know someone who does. And you got to let them know. You got to say, hey, before you go making any moves, you got to talk to my boy, Jon Shefsky. He's a really real realtor, and he would love to be of service. And I really would. And even if you're not in SoCal, I can still help you because I have a referral network all over the country with some fantastic agents, and it's growing all the time. So check in with me. Let me know, because I got agents in Nashville, in Chattanooga, Austin, Texas, Boise, Idaho, Phoenix, Arizona. I got you covered. And like I said, that list is just growing. So just think of me when you're thinking of real estate. Be like, I'm going to hit Shefsky up before I do anything. Just send me an email, fantasyhousepodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to be of service or help in any way. My episode today, I'm super excited about this because this is a friend that I've had for 20 years. We've known each other since back in the tattoo days. Everyone who listens, all the listeners know Shefsky used to do tattoos and he was in the tattoo world a long time ago. Yes, I have a lot of love and a lot of friends in that world, and it's just a spectacular world. And every time I get to have anybody from that world on Fantasy House, it gets me all stoked. So today I'm having my good friend Tina Lebron's on. She's a hairstylist, hairdresser. She's a pro, and she's just an all-around awesome person. So in the words of the great Angelo Bowers, let us do this.
How's it going?
It is, well, aside from the pandy, it's going spectacular.
Absolutely.
Every day is a blessing.
Yes, it is.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm everybody's safe and sound. I've had a daughter graduate through the pandemic, and everybody's just pushing through, and we're just living life.
Yeah, living La Vida Pandemica.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
What was the graduation like for your daughter? How did they do that? I mean, is it all just Zoom?
Well, she was really pissed. But she had worked, 4 years with honors and summa cum laude and all this, I don't know. And then when it came down to it, they gave her a certificate in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, what?
That's
and
it?
I said, yeah, that's it. And so we did a little Zoom thing with the family and had all the colors of her school and had balloons and stuff. But you could tell she was a little pissed off. And I'm like, listen, when it's all over, you're probably going to get a lot of money and a really good dinner out of it. So she's like, okay.
That's right. You just tell her, you say, you know what? You just plan for the post-pandemic party.
Yes.
And it's going to, you can just remind everyone, hey, remember, this is the real celebration.
Yep. Where's my gifts? Where's my cash?
Where's my cash?
Where's my cash?
That's a great slogan for her. Where's my cash? Summa cum laude. Where's my cash?
Yep, exactly. Oh, so I can't believe it. All my kids are grown and on their own, and it's kind of nice. It took me a while to figure out what the hell am I going to do if I don't have to think, for them or supply for them. And I'm like, oh, I can spend that money on me.
That's right. You said you bought new creepers.
Bought new creepers. I bought more tools for, clippers for hair cutting. And, I'm like, this is pretty nice. I'm liking this. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that you found like the positive turn to that, because that's always that. I mean, my kids are insanely young. They're 4 and 2, but I'm already like joking around with my wife, like they grow up so fast. I keep saying it like every day to her. And, like she looks at me and like, shut up. But I'm like, no, it's crazy. Like how fast.
It's true.
Right.
It's true. It's true. I think I did have a little mini breakdown when my oldest turned 25 this year. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You were just 2. And she's like, Mom. And, I post the really embarrassing baby pictures and on Instagram and stuff. And she's just like, really, Mom? Really? I'm like, I can't help it.
Come on. Yeah, it's adorable.
That's what parents do. We embarrass the shit out of you.
And I don't think you can ever stop. Like I nibble on my kids' earlobes. I like like the mama tiger does, where they grab the baby tigers by the fat in the back of their neck, the nape. Like I bite my kids. I blow raspberries on their bellies. Like, am I going to be blowing raspberries on hairy stomachs one day? Like I don't know if I'm going to stop. I love these. They're my whole world. So
I know
you can't ever stop like treating them like little babies. Like,
I know. Because they're always going to be your babies.
Yeah, Dad, get away from me! I'm like, you're getting a raspberry before the baseball game, son.
He's going to be like,
give a shit.
He's going to be 6'2", like 310, and you're like, hey, son. He's like, listen,
Dad,
not
stop
in front
it.
of my friends, Dad.
We're hanging out with my second wife, Dad. Stop it! I'm like, you're getting a raspberry, boy.
Raspberry.
Right now, raspberry.
Oh my God!
Oh,
I would so do that too.
They're always going to be our little babies.
Yeah,
they really are.
Totally.
So, okay, Tina, what is your favorite thing about being alive? I know it's a big question, but I love to ask the big questions. It's fun.
As I've gotten older and found that I'm not invincible, because in your 20s you're like, yeah, well, fuck, yeah, let's do this, then it takes you a while to in your 30s where you're like, okay, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Am I going to do this forever? Or maybe I want to do this. Do I have kids? Do I not have kids? And then, I really enjoyed in my 40s. When I hit 40, I really liked my 40s. And then when I hit my 50s, I was like, hey, you know what? This is nice.
Oh,
I like
awesome.
this. I like where I'm at. I'm comfortable finally in my own skin.
Yeah.
And I've developed a skill that I'm proud of. So, I'm pretty blessed. And then when you throw the fucking pandemic in it, and that I'm safe and I'm healthy and I'm, and everybody around me is healthy and safe, and it's good. You wake up and you're good. Life is good.
I love that. You have your, so you love like, almost like your, how do I sum it up? Like you're saying that you're
appreciative of being in your own skin, like you're enjoying aging, like and really, like, I don't know, appreciating the small stuff, or not the small stuff, the simple stuff.
The simple stuff, like the materialistic things, because I've been married 4 times, and through all of that crazy and incidents in my life, I've had to downsize. So I went from a 1,600 square foot home with my kids and every room in the house done to myself right now. All my stuff is in storage in a 10 by 10, and that's everything I own. But those are the important things. Like pictures and clothes and, that kind of thing but everything else is just replaceable, and I've realized that I don't need to be, oh, look what I got. It's like, I know what I have is good, and life is good. I
love that. I wish I could hug you right now, because it's like,
I know.
It is one of those like exciting things to hear such a beautiful perspective on it. And I you mentioned those 2 things of being comfortable in your own skin and having a skill that you're good at, that you love. Like, it's so easy to like write that stuff off and be like, yeah, that stuff's important. But like, I want to make $1 million and I want this and I want that. But you mentioned those 2 things. It's like, that to me is so much about like happiness in life, is that you're comfortable in your own skin. You look in the mirror and you're not like, I'm not supposed to be this, or I don't want to be that, or I want to be more of this or more of that. And it's like, no, just to be like, this is my skin, and this is okay to be who I am physically, mentally, like my personality. Like, it's a very beautiful feeling to feel like relaxed about that, right? Like, there's not work to be done. Enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I struggled, I'd want to say in my mid 40s, I struggled a little bit with my physical image of, I don't have my 20-year-old body anymore.
I feel that. Yeah. That was,
and I was angry, and I thought, but why?
Totally. I just
if I'm comfortable, people are going to be comfortable with me. And it's the uncomfortableness when you go with somebody, and I've been around people where they're like, oh my God, like this shirt used to fit, but now, gosh, I just have this muffin top, and I'm thinking, just get a bigger size. That's
a very Matthew McConaughey Dazed and Confused. Why don't you just get a bigger size shirt?
Just get a bigger size, or just get a different cut that camouflages that.
Or wear a muumuu, smoke a bowl, and get on with it.
Exactly. Rock it. Put your hair in a bun, or do what you got to do, but just enjoy it. And as I've gotten older, and I would probably say around 48, 49, right before I hit 50, I was like, you know what? I got tattoos everywhere. I got rhinestones on my teeth. I've got piercings. I got blue hair, and I'm a little chubbier than I was 40 years ago. I'm okay with that.
I love it. It's not just about your physical appearance. Like, being comfortable in your skin is about like being grateful to be a composed biological organism, or you know what I mean? Right. Like, it just feels good to be like, you know what? I'm actually living in gratitude that I'm alive and able to walk around, or I'm able to think and enjoy, or even taste food. I had a friend who was clinically depressed. I was like, you can't like just enjoy like the sweetness of the ice cream, like the creaminess. And he's like, no, like it hits my tongue, but the part of my brain doesn't like register that it like tastes good and that like I'm enjoying myself. And I was like, oh my God, like I felt so bad for him, but also it made me realize like how grateful if you are able to taste the ice cream, like, you're just lucky to be able to taste the fucking ice cream and put that smile together with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't have any, even with the pandemic and not being able to work, and my husband not being able to work, and this living situation we're in, I'm grateful.
Oh, I love it. That's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
I love it. I found a new hobby. I mean, before the pandemic, I was making miniature vintage trailer, that kind of thing. Then I had to put that on hold. And then so I started thinking, well, what else can I do? And I've always loved rhinestones. I like anything sparkly. And so I discovered I can buy rhinestones through my rhinestone company that I go to in LA, and they can send it to me. And I'm like, this is awesome. So every time I get a package of rhinestones, Renee's like, what are you rhinestoning? And I'm like, does it matter? And he's like, oh, okay. So he bought me a pair of wireless Beats headset for Christmas.
Yeah. Oh,
and they're black.
Yeah.
And I am rhinestoning them in jet black rhinestones that are, it sparkles. I'm halfway done. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I did my toothbrush and he's like, could you just stop?
Your toothbrush.
I'm like, I did. It's amazing. It's like holding one of those like microphones that the rockers wear that are all rhinestone down. That's my toothbrush. Every morning I'm like, that is so fucking pretty. I love it. It just makes me smile.
I love that he's like, can you not rhinestone everything? And you're like, there's an episode of Mighty Boosh. There's an episode of Mighty Boosh where the guys they meet up in a tavern. It's the old Greg episode, which is my favorite episode of Mighty Boosh. And they're in the tavern, and the guy goes like, I put shells on things, and like he lifts his boot up on the table, and he is just wearing like UGG boots that are covered in shells, and he's like, and some guy's like, that's cool. He's like, yeah, there's not a lot of money in it though. And the other guys at the table are like, oh, okay, like. And then the guy's like, oh, my wife's here to pick me up, and she walks in the door, and she's just a person like in a full costume, it's like head to toe, even her face is like shells. So I picture your husband Renee just being like, honey, could you stop rhinestoning me? And like he's just sitting on the couch, just like including his face, and like everything is covered in rhinestones. But
I got a pair of new Converse in the mail because I discovered while in this pandemic you can order custom made Converse any color and platform. So I ordered it and I got it, like a little monogram, and it says Bling Barber on it. And then I rhinestoned the shit out of him. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, these are so pretty. And then I rhinestoned my clippers and my razor. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm blinging. It makes me happy.
Yeah. What am I doing? What are you not doing? Look at all this shit that's not rhinestoned around here.
Right?
Make yourself useful.
I keep asking him, do you want me to rhinestone your bong? And he's like, no. I'm like, I could totally rhinestone just the lettering. And he's like, no. So
that's the one thing you're gonna have to go to the marriage counselor for. Like, she wants to rhinestone everything. Well, he doesn't rhinestone anything.
I actually, the other day, he has this little chiller for his J's, and it's from Raw. And so really small, it says Raw on it in red. And so I have these little micro rhinestones.
Yep.
Hold on. And I rhinestoned the word raw, and he hasn't seen it yet. It's in the freezer. It's just a matter, because he only uses it at night, so I don't think he realizes that there's rhinestones on it.
I love
that. Waiting.
I think this is great, and I think that's just part of your personality of how you're so celebratory about life, which is very Jewish. I'm wearing my. It's not a video podcast, but I'm wearing my chai hat, which is like a Dodger blue hat, but has the chai symbol, which is just in Judaism. It's the number 18. It's the symbol cha, the chet, which is part of the alphabet, and then it symbolizes life. And it's just it's just a celebration of life. Like, it's not very complicated. It's like life. Right. You know, we're alive. And I feel like you have so much of that spirit, and I just love that. I think it's so awesome.
I can rhinestone it for you.
I knew that was coming.
I got all shades of blue and white.
I might have to take you up on that. I don't know how I would look wearing anything rhinestone, but I'm sure I could have it somewhere in my house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I can imagine like someone showing up for an inspection, and I'm like, let's have a look over here. And they're like, is that a rhinestone hat on the realtor? I'm like, yep. I'm Jon Shefsky, your rhinestone realtor. Some Dodger blue right. Rhinestone cowboy boots.
Absolutely.
Oh man, now I'm really getting Mighty Boosh weird. So
we've taken a turn.
We've taken a turn, but I'd say for the better.
Yes.
Let's go to your fantasy house. What's the geographic location? If we're flying a drone around, looking down at it, where are we?
Transylvania.
I knew it. How did I not know that Batgirl was going to have a Transylvania? Yeah. Okay, so what's it look like? What's the shapes and the colors?
So about 5-6 years ago on the Travel Channel, Dracula's real castle was for sale.
Oh wow!
And for $1 million American dollars.
That's
and
it.
I thought, I'm like, how can I raise $1 million to move to Romania to live in the castle? But it had like 100 rooms, and it had this courtyard that had staircases that went round, and it's really cool. But I would have a slide going so I could go to each room,
Yeah.
like each level. And then you could stop off and there's like a waterfall, a hot tub at the end of it. And for the cold winter months, you could just close that off and stay inside. And then I would absolutely have probably a whole floor of just my closet.
Yeah.
Like shoes, everything, makeup, especially. I love makeup. And then I would have a 3D printer that would print me out new black, really bitchin' outfits every day. And I could just throw them away or I could keep them.
I love that. I love that we're in a Dracula castle, but you're like, now here comes the tech.
Right.
So rad.
Yeah. And it would have, just big chandeliers and Gothic stuff. I hate saying the word Gothic because I'm not Gothic.
Yeah.
I was pre-Gothic.
Is that a misused term from a lady who loves all black stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not emo. I'm not goth.
You're Tina, for God's sake.
I'm Tina. I've been wearing black since I was 14, and I cut my long hair into a flat top when I was 14, and my mom just about lost her shit. She cried. So I've been like this forever, but I'd be a more mature black, but the castle would have, I don't know, it'd have old 80s arcade with every game that I played in junior high and high school.
Oh, what game would you show us, though? If you're like, this is my prized possession game, John. Here we are for the tour. Centipede? All right. Yeah.
That's my jam.
Because you can kind of zone out at Centipede.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. You just roll that little ball and push the button. I mean, that's all there is to it.
There's something nice about that simplicity where you're like, I can actually get really, really loaded right now and still concentrate on this game.
Yes. Which I did often. But, but I would probably have a look into getting a pet raven and some bats, because they're so cute and they wrap in little blankets and you can feed them. And I just love that.
You are the first person since this pandy that has said anything positive about bats. I wish I had like a sound effect for that because it's very nice. It's refreshing to hear someone say something nice about bats. They've taken so much heat, Tina.
I know. I love them though. That's not their fault. They got it from something else.
You're so sweet. I just see you defending the bats. You guys calm down and back off these bats. It's not their fault.
Back off of them. They're so sweet. We have one that literally screeches around at night. And every once in a while, if I can zone in where his sound is, I can see him in the dark. But he just it's so weird. It's like the invisible cloak from Harry Potter. Yeah. He just disappears. And it's so awesome. But I can hear him. And I love that, the little screechy sound they make.
You're talking about it in real life. You're not talking about it in make-believe fantasy world. You're talking about in California. You have bats in your neighborhood?
Yes, because we have fruit trees.
Oh, so do we. I wonder if we have bats here too. And I'm right by the hills.
It's a very high pitch. And you might think it's like a little bird outside at night, but it's actually a bat. All
right. For someone that calls himself not Gothic, I feel like you having the bat sense.
Yes.
That's pretty intense.
Yes, I love that.
Okay, so if we just got done playing Centipede, you got to take us to your fantasy house, Dracula Castle Kitchen.
Oh, okay. So that is going to have like big cathedral type cabinets.
Yeah,
it's all in black, but it's got clear windows so you can see the red glass plateware that I have.
Yeah.
And then it's got to be like an 8-burner gas stove and just the double, a wolf. It's a wolf appliance and they're amazing. And a wolf would be making my food.
Yeah, dude.
That in the daytime would be a friend of mine.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So
but
rad.
it would have like all that. And then this big, like the table would be like 16 feet long with big throne type chairs.
Oh yeah.
And candles everywhere and glass, and then like chandelier on top, kind of that red glass chandelier.
Yeah.
That would be amazing in that room. And then like a deep red velvet wallpaper.
And Oh yeah, dude, this is so interesting that we're sitting in here. Okay, so we're sitting in here at this giant table now. You're showing me this.
Yes.
What are we drinking and what are we eating? What did the wolf? Does the wolf have a name, by the way? By the way?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
Just wolf.
That's
Wolf.
Hey, nothing wrong with a basic name for a wolf.
Kind of like your butler, like Gems or what James.
Yeah.
He has wolf, but
Okay.
he let's see, he has done beef bourguignon.
Oh yeah.
With the red wine, and then a fennel and vinegar salad.
Oh wow.
And then creme brulee for dessert with that little hard crust of that sugar on top. And
my wife absolutely loves.
Hands down my favorite dessert.
Oh my god, yeah, that's
yeah.
She's gonna be jealous that I'm just having a fantasy meal right now with this. She won't eat the beef, but she will eat nonstop creme brulee.
Oh. Yeah, and then we have I like Brussels sprouts. I like Brussels sprouts if they're done right. It's going to have Brussels sprouts with a little bit of bacon and some garlic on them. And as a side vegetable, and, just enjoy that. And then there'd be some port wine, some red Merlot. I don't drink, unfortunately, because I am allergic to alcohol now. Thank you very much. But there is.
I'll drink for both of us.
Okay. There is a liqueur that only comes out in October, and it's only at a few different liquor stores, and it's called Vampire something. I can't remember what it is, but it's this thick red, almost like what is that red stuff that you put in grenadine? It's like grenadine, but it has alcohol in it, and you pour that into orange juice and you don't even know it's in there, but it makes it blood red, and it's so amazing. And I'm like, that's what I would drink. I would risk to drink that.
Sorry, the sound cut off. Like, what did you say? You'd risk what?
Oh, I would risk my allergies to drink that.
Just to have a sip. Yeah, I mean, we're at your fantasy house. You have to at least have a sip, and just imagine that you have some sort of magic pill that you can take so you can drink it, because we got to do a shot of this at least.
If that was the case, I would make a really pretty chain with a vial that has a straw, and I just walk around my castle with that around. And
drink. Yeah. As you're giving us the tour around, you're like, and if you look over here,
over here,
sipping from the straw.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You gotta have that 3D printer make me some sort of outfit right now. I would love
I know.
A black leather flannel would be awesome.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. I could do that.
That's my style. Black leather flannel, my thigh hat, but black leather with a black leather thigh on it, and black jeans, and a black leather pair of chukka dress boots or whatever.
Yep. Perfect.
What about you? What do you got? What did it print for you?
It would print really intricate filigree pattern leggings.
Yeah.
And then over that would be a kind of like a soldier coat that the high-low, so the higher, and then it has a train, like a tail.
Yeah.
And then a high collar.
I can totally see you with a train when you're walking around too, just sipping from this thing and it's dragging behind you. And I'm clumsy, looking at stuff in awe and stepping on it. Oh, sorry about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the collar, of course, would flip upward.
Yes.
And then it would print me some really interesting, just long black earrings. And then I would accessorize with electric blue lipstick or purple or something like that. And then of course I'd have jewels. I'd have every kind of jewel necklace you could imagine to accessorize with.
What's the prize one that you're like I just want to show you this one. This is my favorite jewel necklace.
Ooh. It would probably be, I have something that I love, and it's fake, but it's fully rhinestone, and it starts as a choker and then comes drips down into a V, and it's just layer upon layer of rhinestones and jewels, and this would be like diamonds and rubies and black diamonds and all this stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That would be my jam.
Diamonds and rubies and black diamonds.
Yep.
Super dark. It's super dark. Vampire, the vampire jewelry is almost what it feels like.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, my black knee-high platform boots that are like 4 inches high. Which I have a pair I bought during the pandemic.
I love that you're buying shoes during the pandy, not going to wear them anywhere but at home.
Yep.
Buying my shoes during the pandy, they're going to stay real clean.
Yep.
Oh, you buy them now, but then as soon as we're let out of this lockdown and things go back to normal, you're going to have a nice collection of shoes to start, emerge with.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right? You get to emerge with brand new gear. That's great.
Yep.
Oh, dude. Is there a bathroom in your Dracula castle?
Yes.
Show us. I really want to see. I'm excited.
So there's this tile.
I'm going to take a dark dump, if you know what I mean, ma'am.
Right.
Sorry for being so upfront.
So there's this black tile that's made, and when water or heat hits it, it turns to rainbow.
In real life?
In real life.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah. And then when it cools down, it goes back to black. So I would have something similar to that. The grout would be all crushed diamonds.
Oh, wow.
So it would bling.
Yeah.
The floor would be a heated floor, but it'd be a like blood red tile.
Yeah.
And then black faucet, and then the shower would be like big enough for like 4 people, and not that 4 people would be in it, but it'd be big enough. And shower heads all over, and a waterfall shower head from the very top, and you could pick and choose. And then the tub would be a red cast iron claw tub.
Oh wow, red cast iron.
Yeah. And then the chandelier over that would be like a deep purple crystals to just throw it off a little bit.
Yeah. That's cool though. I feel so there's like your fancy house has so much like kind of like Victorian kind of things too, right? Because you have like the filigree on your outfit, and you've got like claw tubs and chandeliers that are big, but
dark romance.
Dark romance. Is that what it's actually called?
No,
are you making that up?
But that's how I'm feeling like it would be, with a slight edge.
Would you ever say that if someone was like, "Oh, you're gothic"? Like, fuck you. I'm not gothic. I'm dark romance. Pretty gothic. Gothic stole that from us.
No, but I've said I'm not goth. I'm 80s punk rock.
Yeah, that's true. That's vampire.
Yeah.
Vampire. That's
yes.
Yeah, 80s punk, dude.
Yes.
Hell yes. Are there any other rooms in your fantasy house or anything else we need to see before we go? Because, whew, so awesome.
No, just imagine 100 rooms similar.
Okay.
with behind the bookcase, like in Addams Family where you pull the book and you go down and you got the pond and the swamp. Yeah. Of course. Just imagine within the house there's fun and games to be had.
Oh, I love it. So rad. Thank you so much for taking us there.
You're welcome.
So rad.
And my hearse would be my hearse-drawn horse and carriage.
Yeah.
The old ones, not the automobile, but the hearse that was pulled by horse and carriage would be pulled by, in Harry Potter, the black skeleton horses that only him and Luna can see. Yeah. That would be pulling my carriage.
So rad. Well, we would definitely have to give us a tour around the premises, and that's how the credits would roll for this episode of Fantasy House.
Absolutely.
Pointing stuff out.
Yep.
So cool. Where can people find you once things open up again and they want to get their haircut? Where do we?
I have an Instagram. I think it's Dyed Wild Chick, and it has a picture of a crow tattoo.
Awesome. We'll put it in the Fantasy House Instagram so that you guys can find Tina's Instagram and contact her. And that's awesome. Thank you so much for doing this, Tina.
Thank you, John. I love talking with you.
Oh, likewise. It's just so great. I'm so glad you're doing so well, and like just just talking to you now, like just the beginning of this before we got into your house, or just talking about, I just love your perspective. I think it's just so healthy. I hope that like our listeners hear it and go like, yes, this is the way to be, because it's
everything's
really
gonna be everything's gonna be okay.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Go ahead and have your daily cries and your meltdowns, but you're gonna be okay.
Oh, Tina is giving all of us permission, Fantasy House listeners, the Fantasy House community. We can have our daily cries, which God knows many of us already do, but now we feel validated by Tina. Thank you. All right, you guys, if this is your first time listening, hit the subscribe button. If you're a long-time listener, go ahead and give us a review. Thank you guys for being here with us. Be silly, have fun. #blessed guest.
Thank you.
Mwah!